Hello, once again. It is Nerf Check. So we are here with the looks, the brains, and of course, me. So today we are here to look at the matchups for King Behind the Wall, the Thing Behind the Wall. I believe this is how many now? Is
Five.
it five? Yeah, there we go. All right. So yeah, we're here to do a quick overview of who's playing who in the first round and what you're coming up against. We will have the list in the show notes so you can actually take a look at those afterwards. But we're going in a little raw today. We threw a little sand on it. We're doing the McCready special on the way in today. So let us just get going here. Unfortunately, I'm not doing my own damn matchup. So how about we start there with the brains? Go on there, Ray.
Ooh, I got to read the brains. I thought it was the looks because John's the brains, but
I was also confused, but here we
okay.
are.
Well, do I get to be Pinky or you're the brain? Good with either one, but
I think we'll figure it out as we go. As
first
always.
round, first matchup, we have Mark versus Ben. This is
Boom.
Abyssal Dwarfs versus Trident Realm. They both have 15 drops and they both have roughly the same unit strength. So that should not be the issue from a scenario play perspective. What it is it's going to be the question as to whether or not Mark's artillery and shooting can connect with Ben. He has an impressive amount of shooting between the 3 rocket launchers and the 3 regiments of decimators to absolutely tear holes in Ben's lines, which are anchored by 2 coral giants. I got to use anchor and coral giants in a Trident Realm joke, with Knuckers and Gigas providing support, but they don't have stealthy, so they will be hitting on 5s and 4s, which could cause some damage. So this is the first round matchup. It was a challenge, and we will see how it goes. If Mark connects with the shooting, Ben's going to have a rough day and probably will lose. If the shooting misses, it's 4 attacks apiece, so 12 shots from the rocket launchers, then Ben will likely win. This is a dice game, and that's what it's going to see. Ben, John, comments?
Well, being said Trident Realm player and Knuckers do have stealth, so I'm hoping I can play a distraction Carnifex in some way, shape, or form. Ooh, stuff ahead of time. Uh-oh. And yeah, I'm worried as hell about this. I'll be damn forthcoming about it. It's a lot of shooting, and if I make it across the line, great. We don't even know what we're playing in the first round, so I just gotta hopefully outplay the man in the scenario, and we'll see it. But if those things go off, those mortars go off, I'm kind of SOL. How about you there, John?
Mark promised us a fish fry, so bring your appetites.
So I played Mark with this list at the recent King of the Thames, and he used it there. So my money's going to be on Mark.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry, Ben.
I'm going to choose me because I'm pretty sure that John will be a smart man and not choose me. So
That's correct. Vote for Mark.
there you go, Mark. You got to live up to expectations now, buddy.
So now we go into round 2, which is Corey versus Nathan, which was also a challenge.
Yeah, these first 3 tables are challenges, and we've got Corey Reynolds, the gorgeous man that he is, versus my boss, Mr. Nathan Cerrone, and Night Stalkers versus Twilight Kin. This is actually going to be. I'm going to go with interesting. Like I think Nathan's bringing something like 6 bloody titans into this, and Corey's bringing a little bit of guns. The most broken spell in the game, weakness. And a lot of speed. I'm actually not sure on how the hell I will actually call this. Nathan's been playing better than he will admit to, and Corey's always a good time, and he's a damn good player. As you were saying, I mean, we're at what 14 units each, and well, Nathan is really out unit strength him. So if this is a something to do with like an invasion, a hold the line, that sort of thing, I think I'd give this to Nathan. But if not, if not, if the Twilight Kin can pull it off, if it's a token scenario, At the moment, I'm thinking Night Stalkers, and I'm not being generous here. How about
Okay.
you there, John?
I think it's very tricky list. I think I have played against Nathan's list. I haven't played against Corey's this iteration of his Twilight Kin, but Nathan's got some stuff that can deal with a lot of infantry volume, which is what Corey's bringing, because I played my own infantry volume into him, and it went poorly for me. So I'm going to go with Nathan.
Well, this is the list that Corey has taken to Masters. It's essentially his Ratkin done up on steroids, with the Corsair Fleet Wardens and the Voidwalkers being his shock troops. So he's running 3 hordes of shock troops, is my way of thinking about it. And given his experience with Ratkin, Nathan, I'm sorry, I'm going to pass this one over to Corey. I really want to see this game because I still don't really know how Twilight can work, and this is one of the matches I wish I could see.
Just forfeit yours.
You want me on table for 13 on round 2?
10-10 draw. Go for it.
There you go.
See if he'll take it.
No, we should say before we go any further, how many Masters players are going to be here? I guess we should have actually said this at the beginning.
More than 3.
More than 6, I think.
Somewhere between 8 and 10 Masters players are coming, I believe.
Oh.
So this is a Shark Tank as well. Myself, as we all know, myself, John, and Ray are coming, and we are all on the Masters team, as well as Nathan, Mike Rossi, and a bunch of others.
And
So
Corey, you forgot Corey.
And Corey, I'm sorry, Corey. He only won like 7 tournaments last year. So if we remember that you're on the Masters team in some way, we will kind of call it out. So yeah,
like, this game is the 2 Masters lists going at each other, and you have Stalkers versus Corey.
I'm hoping that my game ends early, so Mark shoot the crap out of me just so I can watch this myself.
Just forfeit.
10-10 draw.
Just quit.
All right, there, Mr. John.
Table 3 is our third and final challenge for this tournament. We have Christian Weisand facing off against Ryan King. Christian is bringing an ogre list that I happen to be very familiar with. It is the ogre chariot list that actually was once upon a time painted by Ryan King. So it has come full circle, come back for a face-off here. I really like the chariot list. I think it's going to do some bad stuff to Ryan's list, but Ryan's bringing Abyssal Dwarves. Let me get his list pulled up here real quick. And he is bringing a lot of regenerating defense 5. So if Christian doesn't get through it in one punch, it's going to come back to haunt him. He's got a lot of other kind of utility pieces. He's got some decimators. He's got some the gore orc, the slave orc formation, which I really like. I think it pumps them up to a good threatening unit, and then it also gives you a fun character. So for this match, I actually think they're just going to beat each other to death, and it's going to end in a draw.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I'm going to go with Ryan on this one because normally Ryan switches from army to army to army, from tournament to tournament to tournament. I don't know how many armies he has or has produced and sold, but this is his second time using this army within less than a month. So he has some experience as to what he needs to do. And I think the Gore Riders are going to catch Christian's chariots out because they're both speed 8, and you have some play with the threat ranges.
Well, as you said, this is Ryan King's army playing Ryan King's army. So I'm guessing that no matter what happens, Ryan King ends up on top. So I'm going to call it a draw as well. Those lines are they're going to be hard to get through. If he gets the right charges in that, this could go to Christian. But at the moment, I'm going to go down the line here because it's all Ryan King with the Ryan King armies. All right, there, Ray.
Well, going on to table 4, we have Steve MacArthur's Night Stalkers versus Robert's Salamanders. Now, the Salamanders list is, I think, one of the ones that have been flying under the meta radar in the Northeast because I don't think anyone really uses it.
Nope.
But I hate the Phoenix. It is my least favorite Titan in the entire bloody game. The new Inferno with the life leech ability, just boggles my mind. And the tyrants, with their ability to gain from the wild charge or from the fire elemental, will catch somebody out with their speed 13 and 30 attacks. So the salamanders are just
Oh
clutch.
yeah, it does.
Yes, they are clutch full of hammers. You know, the Rhino Cav, the 2 Tyrant Hordes, like let alone the Ceremonial Guard. Like they're the afterthought. But this list has punch, has huge amounts of punch, and if you don't deal with it, like everything else there is to deliver those 3 pieces to cause that punch. And Steve, you're running your Night Stalkers. Unfortunately, you're both running approximately the same number of units. So trade for trade is going to be hard. You're going to have to make use of that Wind Blast on the Soul Flares. You have 2 regiments of them. Your Butchers will not stand against the Tyrants, especially with the Tyrants outranging you.
No helping the engineer. No helping the engineer.
So, Steve, I think this is Robert's game to lose. So my money's with Robert because 1, salamanders are tough and no one plays them in the Northeast. And 2, my very first pet that I ever had was a lizard. So
I bet it was.
Chuck.
That's just what he calls it. He
That's
still
what
calls it Chuck. Fun story.
It shedded its skin. All right. So we all know Steve is, well, we all know I like to pick on the engineers. However, this time around, as much as I know Steve has been playing this army and plays it well, and two bloody what are those things called? Those floating apparitions that heal.
Mind Screeches.
The mind screeches that with the planar
apparition.
There you go. As much as he's got with that, he wants to grind. So do the salamanders. I love the Phoenix. I think it's great. But those tyrants, if they just go off once, just once, he's going to tear through a unit. So unfortunately, this is not because you're an engineer, but it helps. Robert, I think you're actually going to pull this one out by hook or by crook, buddy.
It's a tough call for me. I think that sorry, I'm not on screen. My phone's going to die, and then I can't read any lists, and then it's just going to be an awkward rest of the podcast. Bear with me for my technical malfunctions.
It's okay. You're at your massive arms there. It's great.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Technical problem solved. So, John, you get to give your prediction.
The match is going to be very close. That greater fire elemental aura would have caught me off guard because I didn't know about that, and I have a habit of not reading the entire list when I'm presented with one. So I think it's going to be a very close game, but it's also the Club Cup. So I'm going with Steve. Steve, don't let me down.
So wait. Does the A team have 3 players?
Yep, because Eamon has played on the A team. So Eamon, whether he wants to or not, is adopted. So
it's.
And I have 3, but I don't know if I have more or less or whatever because.
Well, what about your brother, John?
Matt? That's Matt. Matt's never played on the A team, so he might be force recruited as well this weekend.
Depends on how his round 1 goes.
I've got spare dice, so he can be drafted real quick.
Oh, bloody hell. All right.
Ray, you got enough players for your club?
I don't know. I'm not the team leader.
Langtree and Nathan, so you guys are good. Ben, you've got LaHaye, Joel. Who else you got? You had someone else.
So that's 3.
Yeah.
I might or may not have Nathan. I don't know. He may have lost me.
Nathan has totally turncoated on you twice. At this point, I'd just cut him loose and just move on. So
yeah, it's okay. It's not like he's using my tools at work or anything right now.
See, exactly. No big deal.
Where are we again? Oh, that's right. We're making fun of him. So it's me.
Yeah.
Matt LaHaye. Not Matt LaHaye.
No, not Matt LaHaye.
Matt Langtree and Noah. And I'm sorry, Noah, I do not know your last name.
Hutton?
Yeah. Well, it is Matt with his Riftforge Orcs, which I have played a couple of times now, and my God, when they hit damn hard. And Ratkin Slaves, which I've had a couple of looks over on this list, and well, I don't think they're as bad as people say they are, even though I don't think they're good myself. Again, tunnel runners, 24 attacks is just freaking nuts. Like, come on. Riding with what they should be, Jesse's boots and the let me hit better thing, whatever that's called, brew of sharpness. There we are. Abyssal champions and all sorts of shit. To be honest with you, Matt, I wish I could tell you that I could give you some sort of advice in some way, shape, or form. I haven't played the slave list. I honestly don't know. I know Matt can play. I know he should have beaten me once before, and I should have beaten him. But he, I'm just kind of at a loss. I really, I wish I could say anything more. I'm going to call this one down the middle, unfortunately. I mean, Langtree, you're a damn good player, but mate, I I just don't know. I just don't know. I'm sorry. I'm no help this time around.
Way to give up.
Well, I've never met this Noah guy before. Maybe he's probably a decent human being. He's probably a better human being than me. Most people are.
Well, guaranteed. I mean, you set the bar pretty low, but he definitely is anyways. So I like Noah's list it's a bit of a sleeper list. He's got a lot of trash you got to chew through, and then he's got some tunnel runners that are going to punch you in the face after the trash that you chew through explode and do damage to you when they die. So no matter what, they're going to do some damage to you on the way in or the way out. So it's going to be a tight match. I think that Matt's been playing his Rift for Dork a lot longer than I think Noah's been playing this. I don't know how long he's been playing it for. But I'm going to go with Langtree on this.
Well, I'm going to go for Noah. I think this is a list that no one sees and no one has any idea what it does. Noah brought this list to Orktown, and Ratkin slaves are making a few waves in the Mid-Atlantic, which is where Noah is from, and he's coming up from there, coming up from outside of Baltimore for this tournament. I think the last breath, which a lot of these units have, will cause the extra 2d3 piercing 2 hits, and he's running 3 Death Engine Impalers, which will all be rallied up to -18. So there's a lot of moving parts in that list.
Only 2 Impalers.
Matt, read the damn list.
There's 2, and there's a third one in the form.
Kryza's Gore Impaler. There is a third one.
Yes, there's a third one
stashed in there.
So there's 3, and they just.
That's a lot.
Everything about this list is weird. So Matt, like, you beat me before, so you're a really good player. I'm not taking any of this away from you, but this list is weird. And whenever you play a weird list, you're like, "Ooh, what the hell's going on?" And it's never your best game because
none of us have seen enough Ratkin slaves to make a.
No one has seen Ratkin slaves. There's now 2 people in the Mid-Atlantic who play it. No one in the Northeast. Like,
Justin did bring them up for at least 1 or 2 tournaments, but I don't know where he placed. I don't remember how well he did or anything else. But it was right. I think it was right at the beginning of when people started to use it.
Yeah, and he didn't play a list like this, I don't think. He had the formation and a lot of the exploding rats, but the Death Engine Impalers, once again, I don't read a whole list probably ever. Death Engine Impalers are scary. They are Crush 2, Rampage D6, Vicious, Wild Charge D3 on Speed 8, so they can go between 16 and 19.
Yep.
Well, 17 and 19, I guess. That's going to be problematic.
Yeah, I think Noah might be our sleeper pick for everything at this point in time, mostly because none of us really know what we're going to be up against.
I'm sticking with you, Matt.
Not be drunk this tournament.
That is very true. So that does swing things. I'm going to stick with Matt, though. Matt, don't let me down.
Okay.
There you go.
Table 6.
Back to me.
I said no one. I'm cutting in there, John. Mike Rossi is playing
Dwarves. Always. Mike Rossi is the dwarf.
Shock.
He is the dwarf. The clan is coming. They've come down from the mountains.
They may or may not be written about in a book as well.
That's it. They are coming to bring the dwarf pain. If their little legs can reach it, they're going to deliver a hurting. As if their little legs can reach is the problem.
Well, that is always the question.
So he's got bunch of shield breakers. He's got some Brocks, a behemoth, only one behemoth, so that's nice. He's got the dwarf formation, which is really good. Lord on Large Beast is always a fun utility piece, and he will be facing off against. Who is he facing off against? Against our buddy David Matheson,
That's right.
who is bringing Empire of Dust. Again, a rarely seen list. So he's got a lot of durability. He's got the mummies. He's got some Rev Chariots. He's got the Soul Snare, Bone Giant, Monolith, bunch of the good stuff. He's got Shobik, classic hits from Empire of Dust. I think it's going to be a very, very tough match. This one will be very scenario dependent because neither of them are particularly quick lists. There's a lot of shambling in the Empire of Dust, and dwarves just have those little legs. They have a bit of an advantage there because they got force march for everything, so that'll be fun. If it's a positioning match, the edge probably goes to Rossi. If it's just a durability match, Empire Dust takes a lot to get rid of, and if you don't kill them, they just keep coming back. So I'm going to go with my man Mike Rossi on this one.
Are you now?
I am. I'm going to choose Rossi.
Well, with all the Def 6, and we all know that that Rossi likes to say is that the dwarves do 3 wounds a turn, and with the regeneration and everything else, far be it for me to yet again bet against a Masters player here. We all know that Rossi is playing in the Masters and is the rep for the Northeast as well. And let's be honest here, there's a good chance that Rossi's played more games than just about everybody that's going to be at this tournament. Has a lot of Def 6. I think it's going to come down to scenario. However, I am going to give the pip to Rossi just because I think he's that much more experienced, and he knows nobody knows dwarves more than he does. He's quite literally written the book on dwarves. So, I mean,
read his list?
What?
Did you read his list?
Yes, I did.
He's got 1 regiment of Earth Elementals, 1 Steel Behemoth, 1 Garrett Heavyhand, 1 Saber Ironheart, and 1 Lord on Large Beast. That's all the defense 6 he's got. His infantry is all punchy infantry.
Dave.
Oh, David's.
Dave. Going against it. You're going to think a lot of this stuff is not going to be very punchy. He's not going to be able to go through a lot of the Def 6. Dave,
no, that's what I mean. Rossi doesn't have much Def 6.
Who has Def 6 in this? There's not a lot of Def 6. No. So, once again, I'm going to come in as the
Shobek is what?
Huh?
What's the Idol of Shobek?
Shobek is the only defense 6.
All right. I'm thinking, and then the mummies are all 5, but they regenerate. So
yeah.
And the dash 18 nerve. So,
it's the dash 18 that'll be the problem. Yeah.
I think it's going to be a little too tough. And if we're playing again a scenario game instead of a token game, I don't think this is. I think this gets closer than it probably. Sorry, Dave, but probably what it should be. Like I said, Dave was here on Sunday. He was playing, so he's. I've seen the army, and I can see what it can do. So
did you vote David or Rossi?
I'm going to go with Rossi.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go with Dave, and I'm going to say, actually, my heart says, if it's invade, please note, if it's invade, it's going to be a draw, because there's no way either army will get across the board with sufficient strength facing each other in invade. So that's my call. If it's invade, it's a draw. Otherwise, I'm going to go with the Empire of Dust. I think they have the crushing strength to handle the dwarfs, because even the crushing 2 from the mummies will wound most of Rossi's stuff on 2 pluses.
Yep.
And he's going to use the desert swarms to set up the charges that he wants. There's an awful lot of chaff in that Empire of Dust list to deliver the mainline mummies, the giant, etc., to do the hurt.
Just don't get your own way.
I can be completely wrong. I am fully prepared to be completely wrong. But
we all
invade. Whatever, it wouldn't be the first time. I full disclosure, I'm wrong more than I'm right. You'd think 50-50 odds on this type of cast, you'd be close to even. I'm not. So whatever. There we go. Rossi. We'll have
against Rossi, eh?
Yeah.
I don't know. Right. I always wear in the kilt. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, I'm sure he will be. Corey too. So you can look forward to that. Table
Well,
7. Moving on.
Table 7, we have Mike LaHaye versus Derek. We have two Northern Alliance players.
and
They
this
did
is
draw
where
the
LaHaye's
crowd.
head hits the fucking like really clunk. You
Does
deserve each
chilling
other.
presence like impact the opposition if you're Northern Alliance? Like, do you get to benefit from their chilling presence? Like, that'd be my question for the RC going into this. Like, just to confirm, because you're gonna
No,
have more than enough like frozen stuff, such that Tundra fighters will actually come into play by both sides in this matchup.
no,
But
No,
going ahead,
only
we have
your own
Mike.
rules.
no.
Mike is only running 3 pack hunters. So on this table, there's going to be 6 pack hunters probably shooting ineffectually at the ice naiads throughout this game. He's trying out the Frost Claw Riders. And he has a couple heroes. It's a very elite list with 12 unit drops. A lot of shooting in Mike's list. So it's a anvil from the ice naiads with the shooting from the Frostclaw Riders and the pack hunters. At least that's how I'm seeing it. It's not the normal list that he used to run with the ice elementals, which is more what Derek is running with 2 ice elemental hordes and the frost giant, the ice queen. Like, Derek is running what I would consider to be the traditional Northern Alliance list. Mike is running a bit of a different variant. We'll see if this works for him. My money is that Mike LaHaye's dice is going to spike and he's going to win because his shooting is just going to be absolutely on fire.
All right. Before we go any further here, so you are picking the guy's list that you told LaHaye to stop playing so that he would play this monstrosity that he has got going at the moment.
I absolutely do not say use Frostclaw Riders. I think Frostclaw Riders are actually crap. I don't know why he's using them, but he is.
Well, so is he. So is Derek as well. He's got one unit of those things as well.
He has 1 regiment. Mike LaHaye has 2 hordes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is still on you, man. This is still on you. I'm sorry.
No, my portion was the double ice naiad hordes,
which is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing.
and he's doubled down by giving it brew of strength and brew of strength. So
yeah, they're nasty. Like,
look,
they're
he's your dad.
rough.
Yeah, they are really hard to kill. Like, they're ridiculously hard to kill. Did they not play each other at the Thames as well?
I don't think so.
I think they did.
No,
I think
because
they
Derek
played
played Matt last round.
Did he?
Yeah.
All right. I thought they played each other.
No.
But in any case, well, look, I can't bet against your dad. I can't.
No, because he'll disown you too. He's already
Yeah,
disowned
well, I
me.
mean, he comes here every week, the poor bastard, and he kicks my teeth in, and then says, "Oh, I'm a terrible player," and I just don't get it. Mike, pull your dice out of your ass and actually start rolling for once, for Christ's sake. Show these people what you can do and what you do to me like 2 to 3 times a bloody month. Not that video though. So I'm going to take LaHaye going in this time around, even though I really think what's going to happen is Harim is just going to unfortunately let this man down because that's what he does to everybody. And maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see.
Ray, who'd you vote for?
I voted for Mike, so there's 2 votes for Mike right now.
Oh dear. I think we're gonna land on a clean sweep for Mike, which is an awful lot of pressure for him.
Which almost guarantees the win to the other guy.
I will only note that Mike does not have Harim. There's only 1 Harim on this matchup, and Derek is using it. Derek
well, he is legendary.
Mike instead has the King on Chimera, which I think will help a lot in this match. Because you can use him to get at the little pack hunters. You can use him to get around the flanks and get some rears on stuff, which everybody loves that. And I don't particularly love a giant, and he's bringing Derek's bringing 2 of them. I think giants are often just a recipe to be let down, as Ben well knows. So I'm gonna stick with Mike.
Yeah, and
I think the extra shooting from the birds that I know Ray doesn't like. I think the extra shooting from them, and the fact that his naiads are 2 hordes of them are almost impossible to kill. Anytime I play him, I just do my best to not engage them because it's
Yeah.
all wasted effort. So
I have not been able to kill 2 hordes of those things yet. So
Okay. So shall we go to table 8 with Joel versus William? So we have Forces of Nature versus Forces of Abyss. I think this was a novel done in the Kings of War universe with Forces of Nature versus Forces of Abyss.
you can read?
That's my brains.
Ah, it all makes sense now.
Yes, Pinky.
no. Anyway, so
Moving on.
keep going. You started. You're gonna have to keep going now.
I'm going to have to keep going.
Okay, fine. I will go.
You're table 8, Ben. Come on. We talked about this. Yeah.
Oh, anyway, so this is my teammate Joel going against who is this? William?
Yeah.
Oh,
Bill
Last
Stein. Bill
list,
Stein.
Forces of Abyss.
there we go. All right, because I don't have his thing up here. Oh, this is so Joel and his forces of nature army. I actually really like this army. I honestly do. I think he's got enough punch in the army. I think he's come out to the last tournament. He's actually starting to come out now. I think he's a lot more comfortable with it. He made a small change at the end of Sunday. So we'll see how Joel runs with this. If I can find his goddamn list again.
He went Naiad and Snares with Hammer of Measured Force, which is
because I think him and Mike is I think you've talked the pair of them into doing it by doing it with one. I mean, it's the ensnarers, the primes, the shamblers. There's enough to be kind of shambled around here. The scorch wings. We were talking to him in one of our chats about this. He just played a game against Nathan and did quite well with all of this. So I'm actually looking forward to it. But however, the Force of the Abyss army, I'm having flashbacks to Corey at last year's where I didn't charge, damn it, and I'm not going to make that mistake again, Mr. Reynolds, if I go up against you. But yeah, 3 units of Tortured Souls and a couple units of Gargoyles. This guy is going to have a lot of board control, like a lot of board control. I don't think he's got a bit of crushing. I don't think he might not have enough crushing. Well, Souls is fine. One Abyssal Fiend.
But the Mohawks are crushing too.
I'm not a fan of the Mohawks. Everybody's like, oh, they're great. They're like Death 4. I find that they died to a stiffer breeze than most things, but I don't think that they stick around as much as anything else. However, I will give the edge to Bill here. I think he's probably going to be a little more experienced. I think he's out unit strengthening him. He's out dropping him. As much as I love you, Joel, I'm hoping that you put up a good fight here, but because that cup needs to come to us for Christ's sake, and not to some makeshift team. Should come to a club. But unfortunately, I think Bill's going to come in, and I have a feeling he's just going to kind of fly all over the place and button him in and take him from the side.
Sounds spicy.
Yeah, it does.
But I mean, I gotta pull Joel's list up again to refresh my memory. I don't know. I don't know that Joel minds that. He's got some durable defense that he can just turn and surge into him. He's got some good utility pieces. That tree herder, he can just have facing whatever direction he wants. And then if Bill does get cheeky and try to fly around the sides, turn the earth elementals, walk them forward, surge them into stuff, and punch them to death. Tortured Souls are not that durable. So I'm going to go with Joel. I think if he stays tight and doesn't give up his flanks too easy and, just responds when he does fly over by turning and surging, I think Joel can do this.
And my money is actually going to be on Joel as well. I think the Tortured Souls I don't think Bill's list brings enough punch. The 2 Molochs are the heavy hitters. The Cronius is there, so that's the heavy punch center. But the ghouls, the abyssals, even the tortured souls are really chaff pieces. Like 9
Push one
attacks,
inside.
hitting on 4s. The earth elementals, the forest, no one's really scared of that. So if Bill doesn't get the flanks, if he doesn't get the side charges, his list doesn't have the power to perform as required to break through Joel's line. So for that reason, I think line on line, Joel's going to win. So Ben, you're the only one who voted against your teammate. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Can
Let
can
that
you
be
hear
said
that
as
bus
well. That
coming
you
across?
voted against your teammate. So you
You
know
mean
what?
I
When
was?
you guys don't win the club gauntlet,
Yes.
I'll get you your own cup that you can catch your salty tears in.
I won't. I told you don't have any feelings. I lost those in the first divorce. It's fine.
This is the only feeling you have left. We are going to do a quick swap. Ray, you're going to do this one because I misread it. This is my match.
Okay. Well, so we have Corey versus John. Corey is an excellent player, bringing his ogres, 3 siege breakers, 2 hunters, and the boomer chariot, along with the ever evil croc dog. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Wrangler.
Bloody croc dog is evil, and I absolutely
Fantastic model.
so he is rocking the traditional and most common 14 units, 24 unit strength against John, who began this list with a epic 18 units, but has
17.
dropped down
17.
because he's chickened out to 16 units. I need to add some items. My units are not performing, so he has to add some performance-enhancing drugs to his juice cab.
Correct.
He's saving a child. We've talked about this.
We have saved one child with this list adjustment. The other 2, well, bets are off.
So really the key is can John use his beast cab to fly around the flanks of the ogres, to get the flanks, get around the siege breakers, and take this army apart. He has the shooting, which is not responsive by Corey only having 2 warlocks and Nom. So the shooting matchup is probably fairly reasonable for John. My money's on John. This list is evil if you don't have phalanx, which unfortunately the ogres do not have phalanx under any circumstances. You'll be outranged and thumped when John decides to come in and pay you a visit. So despite the requirement for performance enhancing drugs, which would have him unavailable to participate in the Olympics, my money is on John because this is not the Olympics.
He doesn't need him for the Olympics either. Now, on the other hand, look, John's played enough ogres to know exactly what to expect. He's played this new army or Kingdoms of Men. You started slapping me in the face with it, at least a year ago. So look, Corey, take a look at this army. When you take a good long look at this army, it's a lot of flying. It's a lot of maneuverability. He finds flanks that you don't even think you're going to spend 10 minutes going, okay, there's no way. Yeah. Right. And he'll still find a goddamn flank. He does it every goddamn time. I hate doing this. I really do hate one-upping you here. It must be the mustache. It honestly must be. But I think you know too much about what to do with and against ogres. I think this is for you. Then again, I don't know if Corey plays Kingdoms of Men, but I've never seen anybody play a Kingdoms of Men army like this.
The mustache is a great tiebreaker.
Yes, it is.
Corey's been playing this list for a very long time. He's very, very good with it. He's beaten me with a similar list in the past, but this is the year. I think I got him this year.
Well, we're doing a clean sweep here, so that's a guaranteed loss for John. There we go.
Yes.
All right, Mike, over to you.
I'm going to talk about Table 10. Table 10, we got our buddies Nick Scabetta and Seth Copeland. Seth is bringing his Night Stalkers variation this time. I've read it before. It looks like a good mix. So he's got some doppelgangers, which are always a fun unit. The Phantoms, the Butchers, the Soul Flayers, Fiends, Mind Screeches, 2 Mind Screeches. Both are the Singing Aberration.
Yes, he went lightning.
The damaging ones, so not the healing ones. So that's spicy. So this is all punch all the time, actually, when you read this list. If it's not chaff, it's designed to fight. So that's fun. And then we got, what do we got? Nick. What's Nick playing today? Nick was playing Riftforge Orcs, I thought, which
Yeah.
He is.
is a bit of a departure, and he didn't name it with his name first. So
No,
there
he
he is.
did not. That's a
So-
good point.
Unforged, Legionnaires, Riftwalkers, Hellstrikers, War Drums. The War Drums are a crazy addition to Riftforge Orcs. That's really made them playable, I think, again. Stormforged, so the Shrine, some Flaggers, Stormcaller, Riftforger, and the Formation.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I don't think I've ever seen the Formation played before. That's exciting. He's got a lot of beef you got to get through. He's got 17 drops, which I think is the most in the field, and 30 unit strength, which I think is also the most in the field.
It
Tied
is.
for the most. So that's a lot to get through. The Night Stalkers, I think, are going to have trouble chewing through. So I think I'm going to go with my man Nick. Nick also is known in our little tournament circuit as regularly racking up the most or second most kill points. So he's out for murder, and this is a list to do some murder with. So I'm going to go with Nick.
Mr. Shields.
So I think the thing that will go unnoticed is how much those war drums impact Nick's nerve. Because looking at it, you look at the list, and you're like, oh, 13, 15, dash 11, dash 12. It doesn't really matter. But then when you go, instead of the Riftwalker troops being dash 12, the dash 14, speed 7, defense 5, like all of a sudden that takes effort to break through.
Yep.
You're not just smashing it with one unit because it's, dash 12, defense 5. It's like, oh, it's dash 14. It takes a bit more effort. So all of Nick's entire list is like that. It is a list that has a ton of nerve that is hidden in those war drums. And Seth, I don't think your list has the sheer output of dice. Like, I might be completely wrong, but I think that's the issue. Your only unit with more than 18 attacks is the Fiends. You got the Butchers, and those are your three big units.
The Terror's got Rampage as well.
20.
Yeah.
So I guess you have 4, but the Riftforge Orcs want to fight, and your list wants to fight. So at a minimum, this is going to be a fun game where you both want to fight. There's no hanging back and going to be like, oh, I'm going to shoot you with my whatever. So 12 lightning bolt. This is going to be a thump fest in the middle. And whenever it is two fighting armies, my money's normally on the orcs.
You also have a weird, creepy love affair with orcs.
I
so
love
there's that.
orcs, and
Yeah.
even when
But
they
you
suck,
keep saying how bad they are. You did an entire podcast about how terrible they are.
regular orcs, not Riftforged.
All right. So, Seth, man, you made a little mistake here. No planar apparition. What the fuck, dude? Like, come on. It's right there. It's staring at you.
And he could have taken one as a planar and one as sand.
I know. We're going to chalk that up to the fact that he knows what he's doing and he's got a plan. And he's going to go in with the plan. And the plan is going to be he's going to take Shakira, and that those hips aren't going to lie, and they're going to take out those war drums. And I have a feeling I have a feeling. I'm hoping that this is the plan. Because if this is the plan, then Seth, you're still going to lose because it's Nick. And Nick just murders the living shit out of people. This man does a lot of damage, and it is always scary. It is always like, where the fuck did this? Oh my God, where did my army go? I have played Nick several times. I am always shocked about how many things on your side of the table just die. It's like he takes like units off your table when you're not, like, you go to tie your shoelace and 3 more units are gone. But
It's a good strategy.
It is a damn good strategy. However, Nick is too good. Nick is going to the Masters as well. I believe this is his Masters list. He knows how to play it. I think this is all Nick all the time. Sorry, Seth. But take Shakira and destroy those fucking war drums, because war drums need to die.
It's actually a pretty good idea.
I hate them.
Okay.
Okay. Shall we go to the next round, which
Yeah.
is not
Evan,
presented by me?
it's me, isn't it?
Back to Ben.
Yeah, it's back to me. It is back to me. I've just got to find Evan's list. There it is. Because we don't get to see Evan that often. He was playing Free Dwarves, and there is a lot of Scout. And no, there isn't. What the hell am I talking about? There's a lot of Earth Elementals.
Yeah,
There's a
there is.
lot of Earth Elementals in this. My God, why? Like, are you sure this is a Free Dwarf list at this point in time?
Sure.
Um, 4 units of Earth Elementals, 2 graders, 3 graders. Jesus. A bunch of massive packs and some stone priests. This is odd. Let's go with odd. This is very unique. I actually don't hate this. The only thing I hate about this list is the fact that he's put a lot of points into each one of these stone priests, and I think he's trying to triple up on things that he doesn't need to do. However, he is playing some scrub that I'm not sure on if he's how many games he's played this year. He tends to talk more than he does play.
Might be true.
I'm not even, is that even the right last name? I thought he was disowned by both dads.
I thought he was. I'm not entirely sure. Didn't they played to a draw and now he doesn't have a last name?
They did. They were playing for custody and they instead took a 10-10 draw and called me. So read into that what you will. I don't know.
So unfortunately, you're taking on Ray Shield. Oh God. However, he is bringing out the Rat Kid, and for the first time ever, no, that's not going to happen. He's going to be playing with Scud. So this is this is going to be a paddling. This will not be quick. You will not enjoy this. I'm sorry, dude. Of all the people to pull, you're going to pull the worst of us, and that's me saying that. Like, holy crap. I mean, he is going to be like, oh, that's another 30 wounds on that unit. Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you move that off the table while I move forward? Yeah, it's kind of in my way now.
I do that to you one time, Ben.
Ray is bringing a quite well put together Ratkin list that he is also bringing to Masters. This is 4 hordes of rats at this point in time. 3 weapons teams, Scud, a whole bunch of shooters. This is all bad touch all the time, dude. Like anything he shoots you with is going to be like -2 to wound you, so your armor's really not going to help. Ray's just a bad man, and just think of that while when he bends you over the second time, because the first time he's just going to do it for fun. The second time is for him. John,
I think Ray, are your shock troops crush 1 or crush 2?
Crush 1
crush
base.
1, right?
The 1 unit has Brew of Strength for crush 2, Bane Chant for crush 3.
I think that if Evan had more practice with this list, I think he could win. But I think it's just going to come down to Ray's experience on this one. If you can, so Evan, if you do listen and you can keep Ray into like hindered charges and fight him over walls and make him hit on 5s, Ratkin aren't great at hitting, right? They start on 4s. So if you can get him to 5s, he's not going to do as much damage. You got Martyr's Prayer to help out a bit, and your defense 6, and you just punch the shit out of him.
Earth.
So,
he has scorched earth.
Yeah, use that 2 to cause hinder. Yeah, that's a good point. Scorched earth is fun. Use your Torque of Dissonance. That's one that you can shut down a spell, right? So shut down his Bane Chant. Take that away from him. What else you got? A lot of Bane Chant and Surge. And I'm pretty sure that they can cast that on both at the same turn on Earth Elementals. So just push your shit into him. Make him fight you. Make him take hinder charges. Make him fight on 5s.
Yeah.
And when he's not looking, turn all his dice to 1s. Totally legit play. Get him to roll and then say, hey, quick, look over there. I think there's a parrot in the store. Turn all his dice to 1s.
Just bring
so you're good.
Bring anything that looks like Godzilla and shake it. Bring a Godzilla rattle. Just shake it. He'll be oh! And
or tiny Godzilla like 3D prints and just throw them at him like smoke bombs.
We are in a game store, so there might be a Godzilla or 2 that you can point to.
See, there
and he's going to go, hey, look over there. It's Godzilla.
Wear a Godzilla t-shirt. Like, maximize your chances.
those Hulk hands, anything.
I am going
Ray.
to vote for Ray for this. So, but that being said, wear a Godzilla shirt, wear a Godzilla like mask, whatever you got to do.
Yep.
So, Evan, looking at your list, I think the thing I have going for me is the plague pots, which none of them mentioned, because all your army hits on 4s, and
Yeah,
going to
that's
hitting on 5s is not what you want, because you suffer from a volume of attack issue as well, and there's not a thing in your list that hits better than 4. So I think John and Ben gave you the right advice. You don't want me hitting you on 4s, but I don't want you hitting me on 4s either. So this could be a lot of dice thrown with not a lot of results for both hitting each other on 5s. So
But
I
you
think,
are only for one turn with that.
well, how many turns do you think the Earth
A
Elementals will
hindered
last?
charge is only one turn as well. So, and really, it's a race.
It's going to be an ugly race. You know what? Might be a scenario play of just invading. I can just run 9 more unit strength along the flank and
That
call
is
it
a
day.
possibility. Yep.
So, well, there we go. So then we
Table
go
12.
Table 12. This is
Table
all you.
12, we have Ren coming up from the US, playing my older brother. So my younger brother is obviously not in the list for this tournament, but my older brother is. So Ren is bringing his Varangur, which he's been playing quite a lot lately. He is, I think, our lowest drops at 11, so very elite, and it is pretty punchy. So he's got Draugr, Tribesmen, Mounted Sons, Frostfang Cavalry, 2 Cavern Dwellers, Magus, a Lord, Lord on Frostfang, and a Lord on Chimera. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of attacks. It punches stuff real good. And Ray has been playing it a lot. He's been practicing a lot with it, so I'm interested to see how he plays it. My brother is playing Order of the Green Lady, so also a lot of punchy stuff. He's got, I think, maybe a slight edge for this with some Heart Piercers, so 3 Heart Piercers, 1, 2, 3 units of cavalry, 2 Redemption, and 1 Brotherhood. The Brotherhood obviously takes Pathfinder because you can. Why not? And 1 of the Flying Cav. Then he's got some Chaff, Beast of Nature, a couple other characters. It's going to be a tight match. I think that they both want to charge and fight. So we'll see whose charge gets off first and whose charge gets off best. I think that the Order of the Green Lady is going to have an edge with shooting if he can delay the charging for a turn and kind of pick off a good combat unit with some focused fire. I think he'll have a good shot at winning. So I'm going to vote for Matt. We'll see how he does.
Wow.
He's in for a thumping, but we'll see how he does.
Well, Matt, I'm inspired by your choice to take 3 Naiad Heart Piercers. My experience is that they suck. They have a place in Green Lady for exactly this type of matchup when you're facing the human tribesman that can only march 5 inches a turn.
They have a place nowhere. Not even in the Trident Realm list. We've talked about this. You're wrong.
They have a place in your heart. We know it. So
the place is in my heart, not on the table. But Ren, you want to get into combat. You have to be very careful to not be chaffed up by the Pegasi, because that is the best chaff piece in the game, in my opinion, for 80 points. Speed 10, height 4, it just blocks for a turn. And you have to be careful because your stuff all moves at different speeds. It's great to have from a theory point of view, but it's much harder to play when you have speed 8, speed 7, speed 6, and everything's moving different speeds. I'm going to go with Ren because I don't know how many games Matt's been playing recently. I think Matt's list is better. I'd be happier piloting that list than Ren's list, but I think Ren has the experience. Recent experience.
Recent experience, he says.
Very correct.
I'm pretty sure that this McCready has played 2 games maybe in the past 5 years. I might be wrong on that one, but I might be pretty close. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, and come on, it's Ren. I love Ren. I love his giant space marine that he uses for giants. I normally
maybe he's bringing that one today too for the extra giant.
I
Yes.
Yep. And I love his list because they're 9 times out of 10, they're like, I'm bored. I just want to run forward and punch you in the face. And normally on a Saturday, it's he's worked till 2 in the morning, got in the car at 4 in the morning, and driven to our tournaments. So as that all goes, I'm still gonna take Ren. I love his list. I love the way he plays. It's all balls to the wall. He's got 11 drops. No one has less drops than him. He always does it with just that little bit of that spice of if I lose two, I'm screwed. And he plays the ball to the wall. So Ren,
No
it's
brakes,
all you,
all
buddy.
gas.
It's all gas. The brakes were just taken off. That was it. It's the Autobahns the wrong way.
So I think we go to the last matchup.
We do.
We
And
do.
what's yours?
Eamon versus the Ringer.
That's right.
Eamon, I like your list. We've been working on it to get it ready for Crossroads in 2024. You have 5 hordes of shield breakers. As much as it says that you have only 13 drops, the 2 redeploys with your warriors make it 15 effectively. So you're rarely going to be outdropped. You have the punch. What I'd like to see is whether or not the points spent on the items, the boomstick, the conjurer staff, and the fire heart are worth it. I'm not 100% sure. That's a good point.
Interesting choices. Yeah.
Good point investment, but you'll have a metric ton of lightning bolt. I think that's lightning bolt.
Only gets up to like 28 max.
Yeah, and he is at 28 because he's 20 from the 3 warlocks.
Yeah.
27.
It's 20. Oh, that could be.
18, 20, 27. Yep. 27 lightning bolt with 1 turn where he can cast Drain Life 5 in addition to that, or Drain Life 8.
I would ask who the bad man that touched him to make him do all this lightning bolt was, but I'm pretty sure 2 of us are on this cast.
No, it was Ed beating me with this list. So Ed Fisk beat me with this list. He's playing for the Pacific Northwest as a Merc because he was only 9th in the Mid-Atlantic with 290 points. He lost by 0.8. And he only ran 1 Croc Dog, so he was running a couple of bullies. And I think that'd be the question, is whether or not you drop a Croc Dog for, say, a bully or 2.
Well, you can drop the Croc Dog and all the items and pick up 1 bully, because bullies are 140 points. Like, they are not cheap, but
they are worth every point.
They are spicy.
Yeah. So you can drop 1 Croc Dog for a bully, but you know what? Maybe Croc Dogs are absolutely evil as well with duelists and everything else. So
they're
monsters. Like, they're crazy.
They're fucking stupid. They really are.
My money is clearly on Eamon to beat the Ringer army, which we don't know.
Well,
That's
yeah.
accurate. We don't know what it's going to be, but this list is also near and dear to my heart, very similar to what I played around here for quite a long time.
Because you're a terrible person.
It's a great list. I mean, if you're going to ogre, this is a good way to ogre.
Yeah, this is just mean. So I was one of the people that touched him in a bad place. So if anybody wants to blame John for this, I'm up for that because it's totally John's fault. Deflect. But yeah, we honestly don't know what the Ringer list is. So good luck, Eamon.
So some final points before we close off. The average is roughly 14 for units with 25 unit strength. The max is 17 units, 30 unit strength, and the minimum is 11 and 20. So it's reasonably close in terms of the distribution of units and unit strength. Only a few outliers, and we'll see how it works.
Yeah. If anybody's wondering, there are 3 Night Stalkers, 3 Ogres, and everything else is either there's 2 of them or there's 1. It's a bit of a spread. It's not as big as a spread as what we normally play, but we'll see.
It's about the same spread we usually get.
Is it?
There's some notable misses, like no elves or Sylvankin.
Ooh.
And some weird additions, like we've never really seen salamanders and ratkin slaves.
Ratkin slaves have turned up once before, I want to say. Justin brought them, I think,
Justin.
once.
but
Salamanders, I don't think any of us have ever played them. Oh, no, we did. They got played in tournament by...
Justin.
Yeah, Justin played them at the last 2-day tournament, the Raffle Army.
Yeah, it was a gorgeous army, and Ren has won both raffle armies.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Like,
And I think Rossi won the Star Wars Ewoks army that we raffled, actually.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like, eventually we'll win this side of the border. I mean, so we'll find out.
so are there any spots available? I'm going to say yes. There's a spot available if anyone wants to join last minute. If anyone's prepared to be the Ringer Army or
yeah,
play.
we'll never stop anybody from coming in.
Entry fee for last minute Ringer Army play is $40. So
what? It is not. You still got to buy a ticket if you want to come play for the 2 days.
Yes, but if you just want to come play a game, come play a game.
If you want to volunteer to pilot the Ringer a little bit, that's a whole different thing. Because Alex will be busy running the tournament. These 2 days do take some effort to get off the ground and get going.
Yeah,
and there's always questions. Because that's the other thing. If you're playing in the tournament and you hit a scenario where you're like, I'm not sure if this is how this goes, and you and your opponent can't agree on it, or you're still not sure, call the judge. That's why he's there. He's there to answer questions. He's there to make sure that the burden of deciding is not on either of you when you're playing. He'll answer the questions. He'll make the call. And then you just have to be prepared to play in accordance with whatever he rules. And you all just move on with life and have a great day.
Yeah, don't just leave it up to you, and because don't be a feel bad moment. Really, none of us care if you call a judge. If you're not sure, is it this? Is it that? If you've agreed beforehand, that's something different. But if it's something where you're just not sure, get your hand up and call a damn judge.
The most judge calls I attended in the last 2 day I TO'd was from Corey Reynolds. So if he can call a judge over, so can you.
Yeah, this is
so. Any final predictions in terms of dark horses or favored to win?
I think I've said it. I'm this Noah Ratkin Slaves. I'm very interested in where that goes. I really am.
I think that's my list that I want to keep tabs on. It is such a weird list that, yeah.
I really do hope, and I love you, Corey, but I really do hope that Mr. Reynolds does not come up here and win again. For Christ's sake, would you stop doing that? Somebody stop him. Somebody. Nathan, this is you're our first line of defense. Hopefully, you're the last line as well.
I think that Nick's list is going to be one to watch for the weekend. I think it's got a lot of utility and the secret sauce of the war drums to hold it all together. It's going to be an interesting weekend.
You can definitely tell there's been a lot of advancement, let's call it, in the way people are writing lists and how they're playing lists as well. Like, people are, as long as you're comfortable with what you're playing, you will do just fine. Just remember to write a list to your comfort.
Yep. And we'll get to see Nathan's new display board, which I saw a preview of it. It is wild.
Oh my God. Ray, have you got an underdog, an overdog?
Well, Noah was my choice, but you've already taken that. So I'm going to say Robert with his salamanders, I think, is a list that people will not be used to, and they're going to have a hard time realizing just how hard the units hit. Because it's not a case of like you talked about whether or not they wanted to grind or Steve, if those tyrants, if those Rhinosaur Cav hit you,
hey, we don't help the engineer. We don't help the engineers.
Well, let's just say that
Mike, don't get punched by the tyrants or the rhinos. You know this. Just don't get punched by them.
Mike Zettelmeyer in the U.S. plays salamanders, and he plays them very well. So they are what I would consider to be a top-tier army, and Robert will see how you play with them. And if this is like your first 2 day with them, well, it takes a while to get as good as Zettelmeyer, because there's only one Zettelmeyer in the U.S. Like he is in that class. The other list that I kind of want to see how it performs is I want to see how Evan's free dwarfs work. As much as it's like all defense 6 all day, and you drew the short straw of playing me to see how much defense 6 I can go through. It's a simple army in theory, but if you don't have the tools to deal with it, you just won't.
Well, it's similar to what Harry's been playing in the Northeast for a year or more now, because he was playing at last Crossroads, and it's a thing. You got to deal with it, and it's a lot to shift. And if you just jam it into somebody and they don't have the tools to deal with it, it's going to be a tough day for them on the other side. All that defense 6. Ray's list does have a fair amount of blending, so we'll see if he can blend enough stones.
Well, true. Well, with that all being said, look, number one, come out, throw dice, have fun. Remember, it's a bloody game. None of us have ever had any real issues with anybody else, but
except Ben, because Ben has issues with every engineer that he meets.
You're damn right.
Accurate.
You're damn right. No, I mean, look, I can't wait to see the guys that have come up from the States. It's going to be great to see a couple of the guys come down from Quebec. I love these type of tournaments. I still think we should be up around 32 people. Damn the rest of you for not showing up. But it'll be a great 2 days. I'm really looking forward to this weekend. And I mean, let's just have some bloody good fun this time around.
And don't forget your thing from beyond.
Don't forget your thing from beyond the wall. Remember, you have to have the extra tyrant. And if you don't,
shame on you.
Maybe, but this is a big maybe.
So on that note, you've been listening to Nerve Check, the best Kings of War podcast, listened to by tens of people. These were our predictions, and we'll touch base afterwards to see how inaccurate we were. Have a good night.
Bye.